Hello. Again, my name is Gabe. I'm super excited to be here. We've been partnering with Yuma for just a little under a year now, and have, really excited to talk about the experience I've had with Yuma. But my name is Gabe. I am Clove's Customer Experience Manager. I manage the day-to-day communications between Clove and all of our customers. That includes both the human agents who we have dealing with escalations, talking to customers, helping them work through problems, as well as all of our automation tools. And Clove is a sneaker brand. We design shoes that are non-slip certified, easy to clean, and super comfortable. They were originally designed to really specifically meet the needs of healthcare workers and nurses specifically, but we've expanded, and they're a great shoe for anyone who needs a sneaker that is for walking and standing and just all-day comfort.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gabe. And obviously, with you being at the company for a few years, you probably have seen it evolve and probably have seen the customer tickets evolve, especially as you guys have gotten into different verticals and new products. So curious if you don't mind just sharing a little bit about like the customer support org, what it was like when you first joined and how you've, seen it evolve to what it is today.
Yeah, what a great question. It has evolved so drastically, both relating to and not relating to AI. I first joined Clove it was almost 4 years ago. I started as a part-time customer service associate, sending emails for like 5 hours a week on the weekends. And back then, our team was much smaller. All of our tickets were 100% being written by humans. And we also were just a much smaller company back then. We've probably quadrupled the amount of tickets we're doing week over week. Our team has gotten much larger and much more efficient as well, thanks so much to just incorporating AI and incorporating automation.
Yeah, and you mentioned AI a couple of times there.
Mhm.
When did you guys first consider using AI for your customer support?
It first came up for us last summer, kind of right around when AI and, conversations around AI
Yeah.
and CX were really, starting. We got, an incentive, or rather our leadership team really highly encouraged us to start looking into AI and thinking about could this support us, during our, peak seasons, which is back to school and Black Friday. And just generally on the team, is this something that's worth incorporating or not? So me, as well as my two colleagues, Sarah, the director, and then another manager on the team, Rachel, really started looking into a bunch of different automation tools. We added our first tool, I believe, last August, so a little over a year ago now. And since then, obviously we've been experimenting with different partners. It wasn't, we didn't originally sign on with Yuma. We signed on with a different company. Saw some immediate impact of like, oh, automation is really important and really great and like can be really great. It didn't work out quite as well with that partner as we would have liked. We had also originally met with the Yuma team and, really loved everyone, but just decided to go in another direction. So eventually came crawling back to Yuma, and frankly are so glad that we did. We signed on with Yuma officially February of this year. So again, just a little bit under a year. And it has just been really marvelous to see, how efficient and effective automation has, just allowed us to increase the amount of tickets that we're responding to. It's helped us save a lot of money. It's helped our agents focus on kind of more administrative projects, higher level things. It's allowed me to promote members of my team. It's been, it has been a real journey for us. A bit of a rocky start. And then, along the way, there's been so many roller coasters as AI has developed, and frankly, as Clove has developed, and we've launched new products, and we've changed brand strategy, and we've changed, product fit and policy and all that stuff. And it has been really fun to have automation be a part of that, to have to think about how automation needs to change in response to all of those things. And just the fact that we have automation has given me the space I've needed to really focus on those more strategy oriented tasks, as opposed to just like having to like write out all the customer tickets.
That's really interesting, Gabe. Going back in time, can you share a little bit more about what that evaluation process was like? I guess specifically,
Mhm.
um, what convinced you to choose Yuma?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we were originally looking at AI tools, we didn't really know exactly what we needed or know exactly, how it would work. Like we were all so new to it. Frankly, even the people who were, founding these companies and, developing the tools, it's like it was kind of like a, well, we'll see what works and we'll see what doesn't. And we were really excited by, some of the demos that we saw and just, some of the initial experiences we had, just like putting a question into a chatbot and seeing how it was able to like generate an answer. Like, I mean, we all remember the first time we used ChatGPT, right? Like it is very cool. It's very exciting. And we were really, really eager to just like try something, try what, felt like the best fit to us at the time and just kind of see it roll. And then, and I think, a problem that we fell into that, as we've talked to other brands and some of our other brand friends, problem that a lot of people fall into is just like expecting to like turn on the robot and like give like, oh yeah, robot, here's our policy information, here's our products. You go run off and answer all these customer tickets. How it's so simple and easy, right? And then you actually turn it on and it's like, oh well, there's this complication, and oh well, like, oh that's not exactly right. And how do you put that together? And why do you tell the customer that? And how much money did you tell them we're refunding? So that kind of that was the first few months that we had AI on the team. I was spending like 20-ish hours a week, like just putting out fires, just like trying to figure out, okay, like this automation is working, this automation isn't working, but wait, I thought this was working last week and now it's broken. And definitely it started off both feeling a little too confident in kind of like just a preliminary setup. And also just bit off more than I could chew at the time, which is why a huge piece of advice I give people is to just start small, start with a couple automations, really polish them, make sure that they are like running pretty effectively, and then continue to expand. But to get back to your original question, something that I really pretty quickly identified that was really important for us that we weren't getting from our original partner, that Yuma I've been just so impressed with, is just the ability to set up guardrails, and is really the ability to say like, okay, this is an area of tickets, or this is a specific case, or this is a customer profile or tag or whatever else it may be that I don't want you touching. I don't want you involved in. It's like, and if the customer says this, or if the customer profile looks like this, then take this action, then do this thing. Um, with generative AI, with some of the other tools we were looking at, we try to, guide it along a path, but it would still go off the rails a lot, which ended up like, I mean, these tools are supposed to be saving us time, right? But if I have to like, if my agents are flagging to me that AI, caused all of this havoc, and then they're having to spend time walking things back with the customer, not only is it taking more time than had a human just responded in the first place, but it's also making the customer experience so much worse. Which so is just, both on both ends, it's just terrible. Something Yuma has like Yuma follows the instructions that I give it really, really effectively. And it doesn't get involved in those cases that are like, a little bit outside of its scope, that it's going to make it more complicated. And obviously it's AI and sometimes things aren't perfect, but generally been just so impressed. And I went from, again, working like 20 hours a week to like probably closer to like 5 hours a week just on the get-go, like even far less than that now, frankly. Just, reading through tickets and making sure, quality stuff was working because Emo was doing what I wanted it to.
Wow, that's some really great context. I love what you talked about, ensuring that responses from AI or LLMs is accurate and providing value for your customers. Also ensuring that it's like the safety around the rollout with gradual rollouts.
Mhm. Yeah.
Also feels like, having that support and help with the onboarding and rolling this out was super important for you.
Yes.
Um, from a from your perspective with Yuma, what was your onboarding experience like? How
Yeah.
long, yeah, how long did it take to get up and running? And would love to hear a little bit more about your experience there.
Yeah, I think that's like it's such a funny question and a complicated answer because it's like I feel like I'm continuously just onboarding Yuma in new and exciting ways, right? Like building out new autopilots, testing out new features that you guys are bringing on. I mean, like and originally like from time like turning on Yuma to it replying to like the first batch of customer tickets, like pretty immediately, like it was the same day, right? Like we got a couple things set up and it started doing it, and I was really like felt very confident in some of those early automations or those early autopilots rather, very quickly. So initial onboarding super fast, but working with AI is kind of a continuous. If you're doing it right, I think you're always onboarding a little bit. I mean, like, and there have been times, of course, when priorities have shifted throughout the year, and I've had to focus on different projects, and I've allowed Yuma to kind of just like be at peace doing its thing, just kind of operating, and it's done well. It has not required any hand holding, which I am so extremely grateful for. However, as I look into the years ahead and I see some of the really exciting updates you all have coming out, I'm excited to get my hands dirty again, build out other autopilots, and just continue to ramp up our automation rate, and just ramp up just the scope of what Yuma can do.
Amazing. It's pretty awesome to hear how effective it's been, in just the short time that you've been on the platform. And, as you can tell, we're extremely excited about the future and some of the exciting releases we have coming. So look out for that as well.
Mhm.
And you mentioned kind of, from day one, you saw an impact on us automating things.
Mhm.
I know you mentioned that you were with a prior vendor before us. What has been kind of the difference between like automation rates between what you were
Mhm.
doing previously and
Mhm.
now with Yuma? How does that look just from a comparison perspective?
Yeah. I mean, where we're at right now versus where we were when we left our previous partner, the automation
Yeah.
rate is way higher. Both like partially automated tickets, like Yuma having any hand in it, or like our fully like tickets that like Yuma is 100% handling. I think we're like a little over 50% right now, which is far higher than we were with our previous partner. When we first signed on with Yuma, our automation rate was a little bit lower than our previous partner, but the metric that was really important to me was our error rate dipped drastically, because that's the biggest thing, right? Like our previous partner, you can have an AI tool respond to 100% of tickets, but if it's giving the customer inaccurate information, if it's telling them the wrong thing, if it's confusing the customer, if it's creating more frustrating experiences, like great, you can fully automate all of that and just have a forest fire in your inbox. And your agents can spend all the time that they have just walking back the robots tickets. um but it was really the time saved that went up so drastically for us, which was like the first thing I noticed with Yuma. I was like, oh, I can turn this on, I can give it a set of guidelines to follow, and it is following them, and it is resolving customer tickets effectively and efficiently. And as I've been able to like continue like building that out, with also the support of your team, just been really excited to see that just crank up and up and up. And that is another huge thing that I definitely want to emphasize, is just the level of support from the Yuma staff has been so phenomenal. I mean, we were experiencing delays of uh, like AI, like it is a really powerful tool. It is also a constantly evolving tool, and sometimes things get a little messy. Sometimes, there are bugs, things happen on the back end that I can't fix. And whenever I have, asked a question or flagged something, in our Slack channel, or using the QA tools that you all have on your website, the response has almost, I think, always been, within hours, if even that. Just the level of support has been so phenomenal. And when you have AI, bugging out on the back end and it's taking a week or 2 weeks to get a response from the team, it's like, well, then you just have to turn it off, because it's just causing way more work than it is actually helping. So that like I'd really like the guardrails, the platform itself, I've been so impressed with and so happy with. But I think the thing that has really made our partnership so successful is just the level of support and assistance you all have provided, for me and for my team.
Awesome, awesome. And that is the most important thing for us is, the customer service and even just the partnership in general is so important to us with every client. And so I'm really happy to hear you just communicate that because we really try, putting that as the number one priority with any, client we bring on, especially for a small startup like Yuma. Those partnerships, are more than just that. We want to build a relationship like we've done with you guys. So I appreciate all the kind words. On the flip side, would love to hear because obviously we're continuing to look at the space and iterate and improve. So would love to hear from you. If you kind of had any sort of feedback for us,
Mm.
what do you think we can maybe improve on, to deliver even more value? Because I'd
Yeah.
love your thoughts because obviously I know everything is going pretty smooth right now, but would love to
Mhm.
hear what you think we can maybe even improve on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really excited about any way that I can continue to plug Yuma into parts of the customer experience to increase, efficiency. I think part of that, I know you all have like the social tool, like you can get in some comments. It has been really helpful for like hiding, just like spam and like scammy stuff on Facebook comments specifically. That's been really useful. I think I would love to see that part of the tool really fleshed out and like really like trusting Yuma to like actually like respond to more comments to just, we get a lot of comments, a lot of it is, support requests, a lot of it is repetitive, and allowing Yuma to kind of jump in and assist with some of that, even more than it already is, I would be really helpful. I also know you all have a new metrics dashboard coming out, this week or very soon. I am really excited to see that. The metrics page, I mean, it's helpful, but it definitely like there's a lot of information on it that can get a little muddled, and I'm really excited to see that streamlined.
That's awesome. You mentioned earlier that, last summer your leadership team encouraged you guys to look at AI for CX. You're definitely
Mhm.
not alone there. What we're
Mm.
noticing, e-commerce merchants are adopting AI for CX, and I'd say it's one of the fastest adopting spaces for generative AI.
Mhm.
McKinsey also
Yep.
reports that 80% of merchants are using AI in some capacity, including customer service automation, compared to
Mhm.
60% last year. So it's growing very
Mhm.
quickly. Can you share a little bit more about how the use of AI agents has impacted your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So it has really changed our team structure and just our strategy, like at its core. We used to do like more seasonal hiring. We used to have a larger team. We're now, rather than like needing like a bunch of agents to be responding to, customer tickets all the time, some of those more repetitive, mundane tasks. We've instead been able to focus on our existing customer associate, staff of people and just really promote them and just really, allow them to get more tapped into the business from a more administrative side. Part of that, funny enough, is through Yuma. We now have almost all of our agents doing like some QA work with Yuma, like reading through some of the tickets, checking to see like, oh, like maybe, this automation could be tweaked a little bit, or maybe we could, a quick QA flag here, or, oh, Gabe, like this policy isn't exactly right. So it's partially been checking that, which is sort of funny. But then also, frankly, as our business has changed, like we recently started selling into wholesale and have really needed more support from folks like getting on the phone with our retail partners and, processing POs and things, we're not quite able to have AI do right now. It's been really exciting to, take the existing base we have of customer associates, customer experience associates, promote them, allow them to get more involved in just higher level work, because so much of the work that they were doing beforehand, the ticket work, like so much of that is automated, which has just really given them the space to be able to, to grow in other really exciting ways.
That's really great to hear, like the impact that Yuma is able
Mhm,
to bring for your team, especially with like seasonal
mhm,
peak. A little
mhm,
bit of a left turn here, um, but what are your thoughts on the state of chatbots today?
mhm,
As I mentioned earlier, Yuma just released our chat widget, which is AI
mhm.
first, which is different from what we're seeing out there in the space today with traditional based flows. Would love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Yuma Chat widget. We don't have it on our website quite yet with BFCM, the web team, and everything. It's just it's a hectic time for us right now, but we are planning on putting it on the website for beginning of December. And it got a bit of a demo the other day. I am really so excited. I have been extremely resistant to the chat flows. We used to have them, and they are just the most frustrating. Like I mean, like ultimately, the tools that a chat flow and tools that generative AI, like the actual solutions or the information, like it can sometimes be really similar. But if a customer, has this like long, frustrating experience that they've had, and they're trying to talk to someone, they're trying to get an empathetic response, and they have to like click a bunch of buttons to like categorize the type of issue they're having, versus being able to just vent and get that empathetic response and then be, rerouted in the correct way, whether Yuma can respond or whether it needs to pass it off to, a member of my team. It's the difference between, having a barrier or having a bridge to the solution that they need, right? Even if it's like largely just like a vibe thing. I hate chat flows. I am so like we used to have them, and also people just like click them kind of arbitrarily. It's not useful. I the being able to like have we've Yuma has been our like primary chat responder for months now anyway, just through our standard chat, but really excited to replace the standard chat with just something that is really geared towards Yuma. I think it's going to make the experience even better. And yeah, really excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all the context there. I know we're excited to get our chat feature released to many
Mhm,
merchants.
mhm,
And speaking of just the constant evolve, of AI and customer experience, what do you think, CX looks like 3 years from
mhm,
now? Whether it's from a business standpoint, a customer standpoint, would love
mhm.
to get your thoughts, of where you think it's heading in the future.
Yeah, I mean, AI is certainly here to stay. I think, both from just anecdotally seeing tickets in the inbox, and also like we've had, Clove conducts focus groups all the time. I've asked people about, AI in CX and their thoughts on, having more of an automated experience. And it's something that people are clearly becoming more and more comfortable with as they see that like AI, like again, it's not like, oh, click here. Oh, sorry, we can't help you. Like it is giving them an empathetic response, and it is actually able to give them the solution or, the answer that they need. I think as AI becomes more powerful, as it, becomes more autonomous, more able to like take over more use cases, I think that is always going to be the front line for just like, hammering out all the FAQs, all of the like more basic inquiries. And I'm really excited to see, as it again continues to become more intelligent, just able to take more of those complicated cases. That being said, I don't think humans are ever removed from the equation. It's been really exciting to kind of watch my team, and as my team has really been able to help me make the AI tools even better, just continuing to infuse it with humanity, with more empathy, with, oh, this doesn't really make sense here. Oh, Yuma shouldn't say this exactly. And just really being able to just like really leave like the Clove and like the human, fingerprints on everything. And then of course, I don't imagine that I think the like need for a human to step in will also probably always be there as well. So just continuing to like have more senior roles, and yeah, just more pathways towards more specific escalations I see being really important, just from a strategy standpoint, versus just having like a large team of people who you're bringing on seasonally, you're spending weeks training. It's more having people who are more committed to the brand, who've been there for a longer period of time, who are really able to offer more senior level solutions.
Amazing. And one last question, and this may be more of an open-ended question, but what companies, because you obviously have had a great experience with Yuma,
Mhm.
and we're constantly testing out different verticals, whether it's in the footwear, apparel, electronic space. But from your own perspective, what companies do you think would get similar value as you have
Mm.
with Yuma?
Mhm. Hmm. That is an interesting question. I think a lot of e-commerce brands that are getting a lot of just like, order status questions, return questions. I think, that feels like a very a broad categorization. But listen to me, if you are a brand that gets a lot of repetitive questions, you should be using AI. It will save you time, will save you buckets and buckets of money. Um, but otherwise, I mean, any brands, frankly, that care about the customer experience, that, don't just want a chatbot on the website for like, click here for this, click here for that, that, care about the customer experience, that want to develop something that is empathetic, that is making the customers feel heard and feel seen and offering a solution and just written in a way that they are happy with. If that describes your brand, you should be using AI tools.